Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you again for joining me today. It is day 5 of the Yogathon, and we're here supporting Mind Body Solutions with these donation-based yoga classes. So be sure and check the link that I'm going to provide when I post this video so that you can donate and help support that wonderful nonprofit organization as they help transform trauma, loss, and disability through their work. Today, I was inspired by the rainy day and the thunder and things that make me want to stay in bed. So I thought it might be fun to have a little floor practice, one that we could also do from our bed top. Isn't it exciting to know that we can practice yoga without ever leaving our beds? So with that, we'll take a moment and find ourselves in a comfortable position, lying down on the floor. And the arms can rest out at your sides, or if it's more comfortable, you could bring the hands to rest on the belly. Now we're going to take just a moment and notice our bodies. Just begin to listen and notice all of the subtle input that we get from our body. Noticing where our heels and our calves and the backs of our thighs and our seat are making contact with the floor. Even notice where you feel the floor underneath the hands, in the forearms, the elbows, the upper arms. Notice the middle back, the back of the head. And just notice how the floor feels underneath the body. Notice if there's any places in your body that feel heavier on the floor than others. And just using this as a reference point. When we slow down and tune into our bodies, we can gauge the effect of our practice. When we know where we've started from. So just really taking in how we feel in this moment, so that at the end of practice, we'll be able to notice the subtle shifts and changes that we created in our body as we move. Let's draw a big breath in together. Let a big sigh out. Big breath in. And big sigh out. One more big breath in. Big sigh out. And then let your breath just come back to a nice, easy, natural rhythm that feels effortless. Let's inhale and stretch our arms overhead and press out through our feet and maybe kind of shimmy a little bit. Just bringing lots of movement into the body. We reach through the right hand and the right foot, and now the left hand and the left foot. Full body yawn. And we'll bring the hands back down to the sides of our body. And let's fold our feet, bending at the knee, and touch the sole of the foot down onto the mat. And you can lift the hips if you need to adjust underneath the low back. And if you have any discomfort here, if you're on the floor, maybe fold a blanket to offer a little bit of padding underneath the low back to make it more comfortable. And from here, let's just begin to gently rock the knees side to side. Maybe coming up onto the sides of the feet. Inhale as you come to the center. Exhale. Let the knees drift off to the side. Inhale, center. And we'll exhale to the other side. You can experiment here and see about the placement of your feet. You can see what it feels like if you want to step a little bit wider. And you can maybe drop one knee in at a time, rotating that knee into the center and back up. So alternating legs instead of moving them together, and just see how that feels. Moving the knees, swishing side to side in any way that feels good to you. We'll take one more. And let's walk the feet a little bit closer together, keeping the knees bent and the soles of the feet on the floor. And now let's cross the right ankle over the left thigh. So finding ourselves in a reclining pigeon position. And so some of us are going to stay here. This might be plenty of stretch for us. But if it's available, pick up that left leg and hug it in towards the chest. Perhaps you even use your hands reaching behind the left thigh, giving things a little bit of a hug in a little bit closer. And we'll take 3 big breaths wherever you are in your stretch. With each exhale, imagine sending your breath into that muscle, helping to melt out any tension. If there's any tension in the right knee, the leg that you have folded, you can flex the foot, curling the toes up towards the knee, and be sure that that right ankle is free, that you have total freedom there with the ankle to move it if needed. We'll take one more big breath here. And we'll let go of the left thigh if you have hold of it, and we'll gently bring that left sole of the foot down to the mat. And now we'll stretch up and out with the right leg. Press out through the heel, curl the toes up towards the knee, and we'll exhale very slowly, lower that foot to the floor. And now let's stretch out with the left leg so that we're flat on the floor again. And we'll take just a moment noticing the sensations underneath our body and noticing the difference between the right and the left side. And now let's bend at the knees, bringing the soles of the feet to the floor. Feet are about hips distance apart. And now let's cross that left leg over the right. And we can stay here. Or if we would like, we can begin to pick up that right foot off the floor, bringing that right knee a little bit closer to our chest. And that left leg folds in. And if we like, we can use our hands grasping the back of the right leg, hugging that in a little bit closer if it's available. And we'll take 3 big breaths here. Just notice where you feel any tension and use your exhale to help melt that tension away. And when you're ready, if you have the hands clasped behind the thigh, let go and slowly lower that right foot down to the floor. And now let's stretch up with the left leg. Press out through the heel, curl the toes up towards the knee. Use your exhale and slowly, slowly bring that foot down to the floor. And now let's stretch out with the right leg to where we're flat on the floor again. And we'll take just a moment, noticing how we feel. Notice how the sensations underneath the body and where they touch the floor, notice how they changed. Noticing the difference between the right and the left side. Let's bend at the knees, bringing the soles of the feet onto the mat. Adjusting those hips if we need to. And then hugging both knees in towards the chest, grabbing from behind the thigh, if that feels good. If there's no discomfort in the knees, you can also hug on top of the shins. And then just become aware as you're hugging those knees in, notice if there's a temptation to curl up off the floor. We want to stay completely relaxed in our upper body against the mat. So wherever that hug is for you, so that you can maintain a nice relaxed upper body. And then let's gently rock side to side, giving a nice massage to our lower back. And then come back to the center. Let's bring the soles of the feet to touch each other if it's available. And take the hands over the ankles and gently draw the hands down, bringing your heels closer to your body as you think about pressing the knees away from the body towards the wall across from you. With each exhale, press those knees towards the wall. And if you like, you can gently rock side to side in this nice reclining posture. And then find some stillness. And we'll keep the knees wide. And we'll bring the soles of the feet now to face the ceiling. So we're going to find happy baby. We call this happy baby because it looks like a little baby having their diaper changed. And it's very fun and playful posture. And while we're here, think about keeping the ankles lined up over the knees. Take the knees nice and wide. And if you like, you can hug behind the thighs, giving a little bit more opening. You can also hug from the inside. Find out what feels the best for you. If you like, you could rock in your happy baby. If it's available, you could take your hands, grasping over the arch of the foot, pressing down, really giving some more opening in your happy baby. Feel like you can rock here. Feels good to bring a little playfulness and motion to our postures. Let's take one more big breath here. And we'll release the hands, hug the knees back in towards the chest. And we'll bring the doesn't matter which foot you choose. Put one sole of the foot to the ground, keeping the knee bent, and extend the other leg into the air. Press the heel out, curl the toes up towards the knee, and slowly, on an exhale, we'll begin to float the foot down. And when you're ready, we'll inhale, lift and extend the opposite foot. Press out through the heel. Slowly, using your exhale, lower that foot down towards the ground. And let's take just a moment, letting our hands relax at our sides. Letting any tension out of the feet, perhaps even give them a little bit of a wiggle. And we'll rest here for just a moment. Let's hug our knees into our chest once more. And we're going to take a very gentle twist. So start by placing the arms out at your sides like a T. And then use your exhale and very gently let both knees drop over to the side. And just notice here if the shoulder opposite the direction that you twisted, if it wants to come up off the floor, that's okay. Use your exhale, feel a little bit heavier in that shoulder. Take 3 big breaths here. And when you're ready, on an inhale, lift up the knees, back in. And then as you exhale, let both knees fall open to the other side. Three big breaths here. And when you're ready, inhale, coming up and up, twist. Then using your exhale, bring both feet down to the mat, keeping the knees bent. Let's press both feet into the floor, gently lift up the hips, set them off to the side. And let's roll over onto one side. Resting here for just a moment. And now let's use our top hand. We'll press into the floor. We'll slowly bring ourselves up to seated. And take a moment to find yourself in a comfortable seated position. And so if you were choosing to do this in the bed, you could simply be seated with your legs off the edge of the bed like you were seated in a chair. Let's take just a moment here, noticing how we feel. Feeling our spines tall and lifted. Bring ears over the shoulders, shoulders over the hips. Let's take a nice, gentle series of movements for our neck. On an inhale, let the head come back, opening the throat. And as you exhale, tuck the chin down towards your chest. Inhale, let the head come back. Exhale, tucking the chin towards the chest. Take a few more at your own pace. Matching the movement to your breath. Taking as much range of motion as it feels good for you today. And just noticing if your body's asking you to take less range of motion, if there's anything that feels tight or uncomfortable or pinching, and your body is saying no thank you to a movement, please listen to that and take a smaller range of motion that feels more appropriate for your body today. Let's finish up one more complete breath. And when you're ready, on an exhale, let your head feel heavy to one side, like you're listening to the earth. Inhale as you come up to the center. Exhale to the other side. Inhale, center. Exhale, other side. Taking a few more, matching your movement to your breath. And with each exhale, finding some length down the side of the neck into the collarbone. And be mindful if the shoulders want to join the movement. Think of isolating this movement in the head and the neck only. And keep the shoulders relaxed and away from the ears. Let's take one more complete breath. This time, as you exhale, rotate your chin to look over one shoulder. Inhale, center. Exhale, other side. Inhale, center. Exhale, other side. Taking a few more breaths at your own pace. Let's take one more complete breath. Coming back to the center. Taking just a moment to reverse the cross of your legs if you need to. And we'll take one more motion in this next series. As you exhale, begin to rotate your chin from one side to the other. Inhale and exhale. Moving slowly. Feeling each little fiber of muscle across the back of the neck get longer and find some relief as you rotate your chin. Let's take one more complete breath. Come back to the center. And taking a moment to notice how we feel. Let's draw the right hand onto the floor, maybe staying up on the fingertips and feel kind of lifted as we plant the right hand here. Let's inhale, stretch up and over, finding a nice gentle stretch on the left side. If you'd like to go a little bit further, finding more stretch, Maybe stretching the hand out, dropping that elbow down towards the floor. Inhale as you reach through the fingertips. Exhale, let that left hip feel heavy. We'll take one more big breath here. And we'll inhale, reach through the fingertips, come up and out of the stretch. And now we'll plant the left hand near the left hip. We'll inhale, stretch up and over with the right arm, and we'll exhale. Find a nice stretch off to the side. Reach through those right fingertips. Drop the right hip down, finding lots of opening across the side ribs. If you like, maybe stretch the hand out a little bit, sink the elbow down. Nice, full, complete breath here. And let's inhale, reach through those right fingertips. Come up and out of the stretch. Let's roll the shoulders. Notice which direction you chose to move. Let's move in the opposite direction. And we'll take just a moment. Notice how our body feels. And at this point, we would get up and start our day, hopefully feeling wonderfully and refreshed. But now to close our practice, we're going to take a nice relaxation in our Shavasana or corpse pose. And so I hope that you have some props handy, maybe a blanket or a bolster to help support yourself in comfort. And I'm going to walk you through setting up for a nice supported Shavasana. And after you get yourself up, if you would like to take the opportunity to pause this recording and take a nice long 15 or 20-minute rest in this posture to really nourish the body. And so to set ourselves up for a good, comfortable Shavasana, it can be nice to support the body in many different places, like underneath the knees. It can be helpful to roll up a blanket or a towel and place it underneath the ankles. That can be a really nice option, particularly if you find that there's discomfort in the low back as the feet drift out. If you can support underneath the feet with a nice roll to help encourage the toes to come up a little bit more instead of rolling out to the sides, that can offer some nice relief in the low back. And support underneath the head as well. And cover up with a blanket. As we relax deeply and engage our parasympathetic nervous system, we can become a little bit cool in temperature, so it can be nice to cover up. So find yourself in this comfortable seated position where you have everything supported. If you like, you can place the hands on the belly, and it can be nice to support either a blanket or a block under the elbows, or the hands can be at the sides. Just making sure to make all those small adjustments that bring the most comfort in your body. And then once you find that place where you feel perfectly supported and comfortable, and it feels effortless to maintain, begin to focus on your breath. Take more time as you draw the breath in, more time as you let the breath out. Perhaps even counting your breath. Maybe inhaling to a count of 3 and exhaling to a count of 4. Inhale to a count of 4 and exhale to a count of 5. No matter what number you reach, just making the effort to let your exhale be 1 count longer than your inhale. So whatever that number is, let that exhale be 1 beat longer. Using that exhale to help tap into the relaxation responses of your body. Your body instinctively knows to use the exhale to help us shift into our relaxation responses. And then invite stillness into the body and into the mind. This final resting posture is such a wonderful nourishment to our nervous system. Even when we're sleeping at night, we're often using our nervous system, turning over, messing with covers or a pillow, or maybe moving a pet out of the way. But here, in our final relaxation posture, we're nice and still. We're not making any demands of our nervous system. We're perfectly still, and we're nourishing our nervous system at the deepest level. At no other time do we normally give back and nourish our nervous system in this way. And if you have thoughts, let them come and then let them go. Use your exhale. Send them off into the breeze. You have nowhere to go, nowhere to be, but right here, taking good care of yourself. Begin to make small movements in the hands and in the feet. Very gently waking up the body. Letting the eyes be the last thing to open. If you have support underneath your body, take just a moment and gently slide away that support. Taking just a moment to let yourself come back to rest on the floor, on the bed, unsupported. And take a moment to notice how you feel. Notice the changes that you feel in your body. Notice the sensations underneath your body. Where do you make contact with the floor? How has the pressure changed where you contact the floor? Are there any places that feel heavier or lighter? Just notice those small and subtle changes throughout your body as a result of your practice. If there's any other movements that you'd like to make before coming up out of this posture, just take a moment and take them now. Maybe it's a full body yawn. Or perhaps it's another hugging of the knees towards the chest. A gentle rock side to side. Whatever that movement is that your body is asking for, take a moment and let yourself have that stretch or that movement. And then when you're ready, let's roll over onto one side. Taking just a moment here. Offering your body gratitude for the work that it did today. And as you're ready, use your top hand, press into the floor, slowly coming up to seated. Your health is your greatest wealth. Thank you so much for joining me today to make an investment in that. We'll inhale up. And together we say, Namaste.